course. So he'll be across in second position. Maybe Finn Redmond will move up into third place late for Adelaide High. And then Jonathan Foster of Perth Modern School will finish in a fourth spot. Fifth and sixth yet to be decided. So the other two scullers still rowing over the final 500 metres. Charlie Burke of the Scots College from New South Wales looks destined to finish in fifth, and the Bunbury Cathedral Grammar School sculler Julian Moore will finish sixth in a few strokes' time. And they'll go through to the repechage. 8:39.34, the unofficial winning time there for Remy Payne of Churchlands Senior High here in Western Australia, and 21.48 seconds effective on, so a bit more than I gave him credit for, but again, a big win to the sculler there, Remy Payne from Churchlands Senior High in the seventh and final heat of the schoolboys at single scull.
And on the course now and on the screen, if you are joining us on the live stream or if you're located somewhere up this end of the course, you'll see it on the big screen, is the first heat of the Schoolgirls Coxed 4. Only two heats of this one, but a brutal qualification, or progression rather. First place will go through to the A final, and the remainders will go through to the repechages tomorrow. So in lane 2, we have Ballarat Clarendon. Lane 3, Roseville College. Lane 4, Wilderness School. Lane 5, PLC Perth. Lane 6, another crew from the Wilderness School, and in lane 7, Canberra Grammar. And at the 1,000-metre mark, it was the two Wilderness School crews who had the best read on the field in first and second. 9 seconds separating those two crews out, and Canberra Grammar, the crew coached by the Australian men's 8 coxswain, Kendall Brody, was sitting back in third place. It does look like that is still the case. We've got Canberra Grammar in lane 7, just starting to knock on the door of the second Wilderness School crew there, who are sitting up in second place.
All right, two crews in these set of two heats, also from Ballarat Clarendon College. I think that might be the two halves of the 8 we saw row earlier today. It is the crew in the second heat, which I'd expect to be the faster of the two. I was just watching in through binoculars, used to seeing Ballarat Clarendon at the head of the race, but this probably their second of the two fours in the event, the crew over in lane 2, and certainly two strong combinations from the Wilderness School in this race as well, who did lead through the 1,000-metre mark. They're almost 10 seconds between the two crews, ahead of Canberra Grammar, Roseville, PLC Perth and Ballarat Clarendon in 7th spot. So this is the first of two heats in the Schoolgirls Cox 4. First only will go through directly to the final, which will be raced on Sunday morning. And it is a great race between those two crews from the Wilderness School. But leading it there on lane 6, it is Isabel Jackson, Gia Rinaldi, Imogen Hawker, Zara Hoadley and Sophia Tayeb, the Cox of the crew, coached by John Trovis, as of course is the crew there in second place. But there's 15 seconds now between those two crews. So certainly Wilderness School lane 6 looking well placed here to take the first spot on offer in the final of the Schoolgirls Cox 4, ahead of Wilderness School in lane 4 in second position. Roseville third on lane 3, Canberra Grammar lane 7, PLC Perth in there, and also the second crew from Canberra Grammar, and what is effectively across the two heats, the second crew from Ballarat Clarendon over on the far side of the course as they past the car park area. Fairly packed in today. It's been the biggest crowd of the regatta so far, as you'd expect with such a big day of racing, and plenty hanging around, of course, with the final race coming up at 6 p.m. later on today. So the Wilderness School, who was silver medalists in this event last year behind Ballarat Clarendon, looking to go one better this year, and they, well, they're still likely to take first and second, but well clear is their crew in the centre lane, lane 4. Only one crew can go through to the A final. The remainder will race a repechage, which will come up, I believe, on tomorrow's program. Races 488 and 489. So the Wilderness School in first place, and still looking to hold on to the second spot as well. Roseville, possibly lane 3, have come through or getting very close to claiming second. In fact, they have indeed done that from the shot from above. So Roseville up into second. Phoebe Herdman, Sienna Meany, Hannah Alexander, Charlie Griebel and Matilda Marchant. They are coached by Gonzalo Briones. Only a few strokes to go for our race leaders from the Wilderness School. They'll be the one and only qualifier from this opening heat of 2 in the Schoolgirls Cox 4. And they're able to be fairly comfortable over the closing strokes. The Wilderness School lane 4 will, lane 6 I should say, will take the win. The crew closest to the finish tower side of the course, then across in second place. It is still the second crew from Wilderness there in second place. So yes, lane 4. They do remain first and second after all that. Wilderness School lane 6 beats on Wilderness School lane 4. They are the top 2 with quite a gap between them. Third will go in a very tight finish to lane 7, Canberra Grammar. Fourth then looks to be Roseville out towards the far side of the course. Fifth place in the centre, the crew from PLC Perth. As we wait still on Ballarat Clarendon. And it does appear just the one crew in the race from Canberra Grammar School.
So, heat 2 on the course now. Same progression. First, we'll go directly through to the A final, and the remainder of the crews will contest tomorrow's repechauges. So, in lane 2, Ballarat Clarendon. Lane 3, Loreto Ballarat. Lane 4, St Mary's College. Lane 5, Canberra Grammar. Lane 6, a second crew from Loreto Ballarat, and lane 7, another crew from Ballarat Grammar. So I think we're well qualified in the form of Richard Dorstein to take us through the form guide for this race, with 4 crews hailing from Ballarat.
What we call a Ballaratathon. All the crews from Lake Wendouree battling out here, and as luck would have it, all largely drawn into heat 2 of this event too. So it's Ballarat Grammar, the crew on opposite sides of the course from Ballarat Clarendon. There's certainly the 2 crews that I would favour. And Ballarat Clarendon, the defending champions in this event, Lily Dwyer, Taya Kirstenovs, Katie Jackson and Lucy Richardson, coxed by Chloe Tippett, coached by Matt Oliver. So the half of the crew that won this event last year, and also the under-19 4 race. The other half of that crew having left school and going to row into Clubland instead. So that's the crew on one side of the course, lane 2, and right across on the other side, lane 7, is Ballarat Grammar, Alicia Walker, Ella Flamsteed, Lily Bryant, Perry Eaton and Angie Gauti. They are coached by Andy Tyndall, and 2 crews then from Loreto Ballarat. So Division 1 and Division 2 for it would be from that school as they head up towards the halfway mark of this race. Now, it was Canberra Grammar School, in fact, in 3rd place at halfway. The crew of Domi Platis, Kate Oliver, Jade Wilson, Sophie Mackay and Chamisa Dejawia, coached by Kendall Brody. Now either side of them sits the 2 crews from Loreto Ballarat. So it is now, as you'd expect, the Ballarat Clarendon crew just seem to narrowly trail after 500 metres now. Have assumed their place at the head of the field here in the second heat of the Schoolgirls Cox 4. And Ballarat Clarendon and Ballarat Grammar have absolutely cleared out on the field here. There was 3.85 seconds between those 2 crews. And there is a long gap then back to the remainder of the boats in the race. Headed still narrowly by, that would be Loreto Ballarat. They're in the yellow colours. They're in 3rd place. That is the lane 3 combination from Loreto Ballarat. Crew of Sarah Augustine, Bridget O'Brien, Gemma Phillips, Talia Whittle and Lily Davis, coached by Steph Seary, who are there in 3rd place. Canberra Grammar then in 4th. The second Loreto Ballarat crew would be 5th, and the red boat there of St Mary's College from Tasmania. So probably a Tasmania University Boat Club boat there, being used by the girls from St Mary's College in this race. But 1 spot only an offer here to the final of the Schoolgirls Cox 4. Then it's the 2 crews from Ballarat on either side of the course, but the red colours certainly of Ballarat Clarendon College over on the far side of the Champion Lakes Regattas, and do appear to be comfortably clear still of the Ballarat Grammar combination on lane 7, closer to the finish tower side of the course. And back we do go to the centre of the course, where it is a good battle between those two crews from Loreto Ballarat and also Canberra Grammar School still there as well in this second heat of the Schoolgirls Cox 4. But the Ballarat Clarendon combination looking to defend their national title, and Ballarat Grammar really coming home quickly down the other side of the course. Several lanes between these two crews as they head towards the finish line, well inside the final 100 metres, but it's a pretty controlled and measured performance still from the Ballarat Clarendon crew, who are used to being in front and winning their races by substantial margins. Ballarat Grammar will get within about a length and a half here in the closing strokes of this race, but Ballarat Clarendon College will win the race and go through to the A final of the Schoolgirls Cox 4. Ballarat Clarendon first, a length and a half back to Ballarat Grammar in second place. And then quite a gap back to the rest of the field. Loreto Ballarat, I think, will complete the Ballarat trifecta here on the podium as far as this second heat is concerned. In the yellow and blue colours there for Loreto Ballarat, the school base, right at the finish line of the 2,000 metre course on Lake Wendouree. And they are indeed pulling away from Canberra Grammar in the closing strokes of the race. So Loreto Ballarat will finish third, but will go through to the repechage of the Schoolgirls Cox 4. Canberra Grammar, the next crew on the course. The lane 5 combination there for Canberra Grammar. 5th and 6th will be close, but the Tasmanians will sneak up into 5th spots. So St Mary's College, it will be lane 4, finish 5th. And 6 goes to the second crew from Loreto Ballarat, but it's Ballarat Clarendon who beat home Ballarat Grammar in the second heat of the Schoolgirls Cox 4. The 2 heats of the Schoolgirls, Cox 4. We go to the 2 heats of the Schoolboys at Cox 4. Again, it appears most of the Ballarat schools have been stacked into Heat 2, so instead in Heat 1 we have one scratching there from St Joseph, but it's Wesley from Perth racing in lane 1, Christchurch Grammar from Western Australia lane 3, St Peter's College of Adelaide lane 4, Canberra Grammar in 5, Northern Beaches Secondary College from New South Wales in lane 6, and Christian Brothers College of South Australia in lane 7.
And as we approach the 1500 metre timing mark, we can see those fantastic shots on our drone that are just highlighting the wonderful job that Canberra Grammar are doing out in the lead. A couple of boat lengths clear of St Peter's College to their right-hand side from South Australia. Christchurch, the locals in lane 3, sitting back in 3rd place, about a bit over a boat length behind them. And Christian Brothers from South Australia in 4th, Northern Beaches Secondary in 5th place, and Wesley College in 6th place. Always great to see Northern Beaches Secondary here, only the second year that they've had a rowing program. A bit of a Northern Beaches Secondary is made up of several schools around Sydney's Northern Beaches, several campuses rather, and they do get together and now have a rowing program, and are out at the Mossman Rowing Club under the leadership of Kieran Kabelke, and really have been going strength to strength the last couple of years, but they are a little bit behind the leading crews. Those leading crews though, or of those leading crews, Canberra Grammar with 7 seconds on the field. They'll be our comfortable qualifiers directly through to the A final on Sunday. The remainder of the crews, starting with St Peter's College, Christchurch, Christian Brothers Wesley and Northern Beaches Secondary, will need to contest the repechages in order to earn their place in the A final.
It's first only through to the A final here, so it's a pretty cutthroat racing again in Schoolboys Cox 4. The winner will go straight through to Sunday's final. The remainder of the field will race in a repechage on tomorrow's program before we have our field set for the finals on Sunday. And certainly it is that combination on lane 5 from Canberra Grammar School, who still lead this by a bit over a length from St Peter's College of Adelaide alongside them in towards the centre of the course, and also that it's Christian Brothers there, lane 7, I think you're up into the top 3, and that's certainly Christchurch Grammar Western Australia are thereabouts as well, so one of the local schools doing quite well, but Canberra Grammar a pretty comfortable lead here. Length and a half or so it would be, in fact, as they close in on the finisher of this race. Becoming interesting, certainly for second place. Christchurch Grammar and Christian Brothers College will both have to go into the repechage because first only goes to the A final, and that will indeed be the crew from Canberra Grammar School in lane 5, stretching out in the end to probably take a 2-length lead as they come across and go through to the A final in first place. Second will just be the crew there. It's St Peter's College, in fact, it is there of South Australia in second. So 2 South Australian crews fighting out second and third. St Peter's second, Christian Brothers third. Fourth then will go to Christchurch Grammar of Perth on lane 3. Fifth and sixth is also pretty tight with these crews on opposite sides. Only a few strokes to go. Wesley College of Perth and the Northern Beaches secondary college program that Chris mentioned earlier will probably end up back in 6th place because Wesley College from Perth will be across shortly to confirm 5th position in the first heat of the Schoolboys Cox 4, and then Northern Beaches secondary will finish in 6th. So heat 2 of the Schoolboys Cox 4. St Augustine's are our race leaders here as they have come through the 1,000-metre mark of this race. The full field in this one is Ballarat Clarendon with 2 crews in the race, actually lanes 1 and 2. St Joseph's of Sydney in lane 3. St Patrick's of Ballarat lane 4. Aquinas College of Western Australia in lane 5. Scotch Oakburn from Launceston in lane 6. And lane 7 is St Augustine's College from Sydney there as they are through the first 1,000 metres. And St Augustine's were our race leaders, the crew of Oscar St Pierre, Tane Potts, Joe Lynch, Dougal McKenzie and Ryder Taylor there. They are coached by Judith Ungemuck. And then in second place it was Scotch Oakburn from Launceston, about a length and a half behind the crew on lane 6 of Cameron Parker, Rupert McKenzie, Sam Brown, Matthew Russell and Percy Bennett, coached by James Russell and McLean Cameron. The crew there from Tasmania. Ballarat Clarendon with third. That's the lane 2 combination from Ballarat Clarendon. Charlie McClure, James Forsyth, Zachary Lang, Alexander Moffat and Cooper Knoll, coached by Richard McClure. And they are the higher ranked crew of the 2 from Ballarat Clarendon College, head of the Lake winners on Lake Wendouree a few weeks ago in both the male and female events. But a little bit off a qualifying spot here as they chase down the third 500 metres of this race, and it will still be the St Augustine's combination farthest away from the camera side, but close to us here in the finish tower, leading through by about 2 lengths at 1,500 metres. St Augustine's go through 5:33.32 their time over the first 1,500 metres. They lead it by 5.63 seconds from Scotch Oakburn in second place, and it is again about a 2-length margin back to Ballarat Clarendon, who do sit third there on the opposite side of the course, the lane 2 crew from Ballarat Clarendon College. And then very tight the rest of the field. St Patrick's, the second Ballarat Clarendon crew, and also St Joseph there in the distinctive colours in the centre of the course. Not much between those 3 at all, but first place only will move through to the A final here. So it does look very likely to be the crew from St Augustine's of Sydney who will join Canberra Grammar, who won the previous race and won it fairly comfortably too, the Canberra Grammar combination. So it is St Augustine's lane 7, Scotch Oakburn there in lane 6, and Ballarat Clarendon certainly leading the pack on the far side of the course, but have a fair bit of ground to make up over the final 250 metres of the race. So St Augustine's lead the field into the closing stages here, as these conditions certainly continue to improve here at the Champion Lakes Regatta Centre. Still a very slight breeze blowing across and down the course, but much better conditions than we faced here. We began racing at 7:40 this morning. So it is the crew from St Augustine's of Sydney maintaining still probably almost that 2-length lead. Maybe Scotch Oakburn have made up a little bit of ground here in the closing strokes of the race. They've certainly gone well clear of Ballarat Clarendon on the other side of the course in third place. Aquinas College from Western Australia making a late charge possibly for third ahead of St Patrick's and St Joseph's, and in fact the second crew and is there from Ballarat Clarendon in the red colours as well. But no doubt about our winners. St Augustine's with a couple of strokes to go will be down to the finish line to take out the second heat of the Schoolboys Cox 4. So lane 7, St Augustine's take the win, 2 lengths back to Scotch Oakman, who'll finish in second place, and then over to Ballarat Clarendon on the other side of the course, who will indeed finish third on lane 2. But first only will go to the A final. That's the crew from St Augustine's. Fourth time looks to be St Patrick's Ballarat there on lane 4. And 5th and 6th in quick succession be Ballarat Clarendon lane 1. And also the crew there on lane 3 from St Joseph. So it may be that there was no appearance from Aquinas College of Western Australia in that race. Certainly no boats currently on the course. And
winning time there was 7:27, and the margin 6.75. Now in the other race, Canberra Grammar were pushed by St Peters in about the same fashion, 6.33 the margin, but the winning time 7 minutes 50. So 23 seconds faster the St Augustine's crew, which it's as expected. And absolutely a class crew and
very
a great
good crew,
program.
but that is a very big difference as well.
So I think the betting man might be looking at St Augustine's come Sunday in the Schoolboys Cox 4. I do believe they qualified fastest in the under-19 Cox 4 as well earlier in the day. So not super surprising, but impressive nonetheless from St Augustine.
Very impressive. So Winx-like odds potentially for St Augustine's when the final comes around on Sunday morning. So we're having a double change here in the commentary box, it looks like. Lizzie Chapman coming in for Chris McCarthy. And Ben Homer has come back off the water. He can tell us all about the conditions. He's got the day off tomorrow now after a good second place in the club double scull. So Ben and Lizzie will take us through the final hour of racing on day 4 of the 2023 Australian Rowing Championships.
Our next race is the first heat of the Schoolgirls Coxed Quadruple Scull. So Coxed Quads. And I'm just having a quick look here. I think we've got 4 heats of that. Yes, we have. The first heat is underway, and in lane 1 we have Penrose from here in Perth, Penrose College. In lane 2, Corowa Anglican Girls' School. In lane 3, Hunter Valley Grammar. In lane 4, MLCQ, that's Methodist Ladies College from Victoria. In lane 5, Lourdes Hill College from Queensland. In lane 6, Strathcona. What does B mean? Girls Grammar School in Victoria. And in lane 7, Melbourne Girls College from Victoria.
And through the first 1,000 metres, and you can see Lourdes Hill in front, 4:03.46. Corowa Anglican Girls, 6.97 the difference. So, as we heard in those Schoolboys Cox 4, same story here, pretty cutthroat. Just the first going through to the semi-final, the rest to the repechage. And I can confirm, Lizzie, that those conditions out there are extremely tough.
Really?
It is extremely tough out there, especially the wind drying out the mouth after about 200 metres.
I was going to say the air's, I know it sounds silly, but the air is very dry here. But,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel it, can't you? And I think some of it's because it's windy and so it's a little bit dusty, but just is very different to what we're used to on the coast in the east, isn't it? In New South Wales, so where we've got such a lot of humidity. But in the lead there is Perth College. Perth College. Now I'm very confused.
Lourdes Hill, I believe it is, from Queensland in first place. Lane 5, 4:03.56 through the first 1,000. We're going to get those 1,500 time checks, but you can see their beautiful drone shot. It's starting to open up.
And it's quite deceptive, isn't it? It looks all right.
I know. On the drone, it actually doesn't look too bad, but
that's a great shot.
especially, here.
Now it looks
The last 500, it does flatten out, but up until 1500, well, flatten in inverted commas, it gets slightly better.
So parents and teachers and coaches who are looking after all of these school kids, be prepared for them to be very tired and very hungry, I think. So yes, Lourdes College it is that's in the lead in heat number 1. Heat number 2 is on its way already and chasing them down. Pretty good lineup here with Sienna Becker, Paris Reed, Bethany Harvest and Milena Wilcox. Sienna Slennett Roberts is their cox and their coach is Ben Bright. So we've seen some of those names out in singles. Melbourne Girls College sitting in second, and that's Gwyneth Oopthoog, Livy Tribe, Hannah Scuthan and Sarah Lay. They've got a cox called Estella Davidson Rios, and their coach is Graham Smith. And then sitting in third position, we've got Corowa Anglican Girls, which is Mia Smith, Annabelle Fitzparson, Maddie Pavlovich and Abby Sharrock, coxed by Molly Lassen, coached by Jane Robinson and Ailish McGray. Jane, who was, do you know what? I'm trying to remember. I'm sure it was about 20 years ago that the women's quad won at the World Championships in Milan 2003. And I'm trying to remember whether Jane was in that quad. Certainly it was her era, and fantastic sculler and a wonderful coach, a great leader of young women. Great to see her crew doing well there. However, only one will progress directly through to the semi-final. The rest will have to go through a repechage, won't they?
Yeah, big lead, isn't it? 15 seconds at the 1500. So they're putting a second into Melbourne Girls College every 100 metres across this course, which is quite substantial, especially in this schoolgirls coxed quad. So there's about 200 left, and they should be just strokes away from going through.
And Corowa Anglican Girls' School that I was just mentioning, they are 15 seconds ahead of Hunter Valley Grammar School, and that's the crew of Samantha Chadwick, Sienna McKenzie, Amelia Dennis, Annabella Thornton and their cox Oliver Williamson, coached of course by Rowan Hislop and Odin McIntosh. MSLQ sitting in 5th, Strathcona in 6th, Penrose from Perth in 7th.
So Lourdes Hill are going through here in first place in the schoolgirls cox quad scull. So that was, well, how about the finish as well? Just to show what they're made of here. Just putting
That's
in a bit of extra flair there. Make sure the technique was perfect on the line, and they are going straight through to the final. Second place, Melbourne Girls College and Corowa Anglican Girls in third place. Hunter Valley Grammar coming through in fourth place. And Strathcona on their way through. So is MLCQ. And this does not look good for MLCQ. It looks as though there's an issue here for their 2 seats. Yeah, not great news for MLCQ, just 3 rowing the boat in. There's confirmation there, Strathcona coming through. Yeah, serious problem there for the 2 seat there. There's no rowing going on, so that is certainly the reason why they have come through.
Never mind, they have a repechage, they have a second chance to fish. So better luck to them next week. And then our 7th crew, Penrose, are they there?
Yep, they're coming through now, so they'll also be going through to the repechage.
So confirming the results of Heat 1 of the schoolgirls coxed quad scull, a win for Lourdes Hill of Queensland. They progress directly through to the semi-final. Progressing now to the repechage, Melbourne Girls College, Corowa Anglican Girls, Hunter Valley Grammar School, Strathcona, MLCQ and Penrose College. Winning time 8:14.07 and the winning margin 17 seconds. Well done, Lourdes Hill. The second heat of the schoolgirls coxed quad scull is now in progress with Perth College in lane 1, Radford College from ACT in lane 2, Trinity Lutheran from Queensland in lane 3, Gippsland Grammar from Victoria in lane 4, Queenwood School for Girls from New South Wales in lane 5, Furbank Grammar from Victoria in lane 6 and Gippsland Grammar's second crew in lane 7.
And again, big gap, isn't there? Big gap between first and second.
So this Queenwood School crew is the is Chloe Driver, Charlotte Botha, Alexandra O'Brien and Imogen Gray, coxed by Chloe Giretta, coached by Kieron Glynn and Ray Boyle. And this is the same crew that has rowed it and won in the under-19 Coxed 4, rowed and won their repechage in the under-21 Coxed 4. And now here they are, they were representing, I can't remember whether it was their school or Sydney Uni. I think Sydney Uni in those, and here they are representing the school in the Coxed quad race.
Can Gippsland Grammar pull back almost 13 seconds?
No.
Come on, Lizzie, 500 metres left. No, yeah, it's a bridge too far. We're trying to get excited here, but not going to be the case here.
So
with 300 to go.
It's the Gippsland Grammar School that is, it's this one here, isn't it? Yes, which is in lane 7. So Zaha Rose Beatty, Ella Durand, Zoe